Boys, if this is your first Mostly Ghostly Monday, we have a channel in our Discord called Mostly Ghostly Monday where you can post your favorite spooky videos, things you think are scary, things you think are just like spooky in general. You can also share scary stories. Edibles have turned out to be an interesting choice for me tonight. I am not sorry. You've done this to yourself, truly. I see some people hanging out in the waiting room. If you guys have spooky stories to tell, please continue hanging out in the waiting room. I'm gonna go ahead and drag on our first guest. Everybody give a big round of applause for DB Collector. Woo! So you have a spooky story for us.
I do have a spooky story. It's a bit long.
Is it a real story or is it like...
It is a real story. It's something that happened to me over the course of 5 to like 8 years.
Okay. I'm smiling, but I'm also incredibly anxious. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will refrain. There's a couple of elements of the story that I won't give my opinion on.
Okay.
Until the end, just for the sake of the story and for the sake of keeping moving. And I'll also try to refrain from telling any jokes.
Fair enough. I will do the same.
Before we actually get into the story, this requires a little bit of background for one of the characters, and that's my grandma. My grandma died when I was 8 years old, and she was the sweetest, most kind-hearted person, to the point I literally watched this woman give the shirt off her back. Like,
wow. That's amazing.
She was a saint in my eyes, and she's I lost her too soon in my opinion. She was a really great person, someone that I looked up to, someone that I every day try to be someone that... Did someone play something?
No, it was just D-Mooch in chat. You said she literally gave the shirt off her back to someone and D-Mooch goes, titties out, and I couldn't. I'm really trying hard to be respectful. I couldn't. I really... I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for your grandma, and I'm sorry for you.
But so, the point of that is my grandma's dead. Long time ago.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Yo, Gilp's gone wild. So, where the story really begins, I'm like 24 years old, just getting started in driving. That's what I did for a living for a long time.
Right.
And when I tell people that I drove a truck for a long time, they think 18-wheeler. That's not the case. Most of the time, it was a pickup truck with a trailer attached to it. For this particular job I was on, it was local to the city that I live in. I didn't have a trailer attached. So I'm driving. It's raining, but it's not pouring. It's more of a light drizzle. You could tell it was raining heavily earlier. I'm in traffic, and I'm listening to music, and I'm just... kind of thoughtlessly just existing, right? Just doing my job. And I look into my rear view mirror, and there's my grandma. Clear as day, just sitting in the back as I remember her. She spooks me for a second, but there's like a weird calm that also comes with it. But that calm didn't last long because I look back at the road and I'm dangerously too close to the car that is in front of me. So I slam on the brakes because of the wet ground. My truck skids, crashing into this car that was in front of me. It's my first car accident. First car accident I've ever been in.
Oh my God.
In the moment, I freak out and I look back in my rearview mirror. She's gone. So I get out of the truck, go talk to the guy. Everyone was cool. No one was hurt. My truck, little to no damage to my truck. The person I hit, their car was pretty fucked up.
Oh shit. Did you tell anyone the reason that you got into an accident is because you swore you saw your grandma in the back? You didn't?
I did not. No. I didn't know if I even knew what I saw.
Fair enough.
And to be honest, I didn't really even think about that afterwards. I didn't connect them in that moment.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna jump a little bit, a couple of years. I'm probably 24, 25 maybe. I've got some experience under my belt. I've gone out of state. I've gone long hauls. I've been gone for weeks at a time before. I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit.
Yeah.
I take a run up to a town that's not too far, about a 2-hour drive. I go up, make the delivery, and then I come back. On my way back, it's pouring rain. It is coming down. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm driving back, I'm like, I can't wait to get home. I'm on that destiny grind. I'm trying to get my exotics and shit.
Right.
I look in my rearview mirror. There she is again. Now, granted, it's been 2 years since the last time I seen her. Give or take 2 or 3 years. I don't make the connection immediately, and I'm like scared, but I'm also like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? I look down at the road and then I look back up and she's still there, and I'm like, holy crap, this is wild. And then I feel my truck begin to hydroplane.
What? First of all, what the fuck does your grandma have against you at this point? The fuck, dude? Okay, continue, sorry.
So I feel my truck begin to hydroplane, and I start to panic, and I start trying to turn my steering wheel to correct myself, and my steering wheel turned about as smoothly as it's ever turned. It's very clear that, like, I'm not gonna be able to adjust this with the steering wheel at all. And so now I'm barreling down the highway at like 50 miles an hour, going perpendicular with the highway.
Holy shit. And what kind of car are you in at this point?
I am in a truck, Dodge Ram 2500.
With a trailer attached, or?
No trailer. Luckily. Okay. Oh my god, it's just a whole different fucking nightmare.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, oh fuck, like how bad was this?
And I look to the right, I look out my passenger side window, and there's the guardrail, and I'm going to hit that guardrail, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I just brace for impact. I put both hands on the steering wheel. Like, it's the loudest bang I've ever heard in my life. Glass shattering, my phone flies out the window, shit goes everywhere.
Fuck.
It was terrifying, to say the least. It was absolutely terrifying. It felt like an eternity, but realistically, it was only like 10 seconds. I hit the guardrail. My truck spun 3 times, so they told me. The truck is completely fucking totaled. It is. When the ambulance had me later, they were like, "We saw the truck. It's a wonder you don't have anything broken. The fact that you don't have a broken hand or a broken wrist, or you don't have whiplash or anything like that, is a fucking miracle." A nice 18-wheeler truck driver lady pulls over, gets me off the road, and takes me off to the side somewhere where the ambulance could, take a look at me. I thought I actually had broken my hand because there was a huge pain in my hand, but it turns out what happened was when I hit the guardrail, my hand like slipped off the steering wheel, and I basically just punched the shit out of my dash.
Ow. Fuck, yeah.
Yeah, it hurt like a motherfucker.
I bet.
Call my dad. My dad comes and picks me up. My dad obviously fucking, like, he is shook. I've never seen my dad so, like, in protective father mode.
Wow.
And so he picks me up, takes me back home, and I'm telling the story to my sister like a day or two later. I'm recounting everything, and then I say, I saw grandma right before it happened. And my sister goes, "Oh, she was probably protecting you." And I go, and I think, okay, maybe, sure.
So real quick.
Sure.
In the first incident, do you think that you would have gotten into an accident had you not been looking in your rear view mirror to look at your grandma?
Maybe. I don't know for sure. I mean, I could have also gotten distracted by something else. So then we jump another maybe year. Still living with my parents at this time. My dad calls me and says, "Hey, I've got one for you." And I'm like, "I don't really want to do that." But I don't tell him that. But in my head, I'm like, "I don't really want to do that." And then he's like, "You're also going to have to take the flatbed." Now, for those of you who don't know what a flatbed is, just look up flatbed truck.
Not me looking up flatbed truck right now. You gaslit me into thinking that I know what it looks like.
The flatbed that we had was so old and decrepit and just a piece of shit. I hated driving that thing. There was no aux cable, let alone Bluetooth. It sucked. I hated driving. So I have every reason in the world to, like, not want to do this job. And my dad says, "Hey, if you want, I can give it to Frank." Frank was a newer driver. That's not his real name. Is a newer driver that we were working with. So I'm like, I'll think about it. I'll call you back. The whole time I'm thinking, am I just being lazy? Frank does need the money. He needs the experience. I could just give it to him. And while I'm, like, contemplating that, thinking, I look up, and there's my grandma. Foot of my bed, just standing there, clear as day. And it's not like when people think of a ghost, you think of, like, partly transparent. I felt like if she had stayed there, I could have gotten up and, like, put my hand on her shoulder. It was that clear. It was that clear of an image. And I jumped and I blinked and she was gone. At this point, I've been telling the story for a few months. It's a fun story to tell at parties, get everyone all spooked up about it. The story is kind of fresh in my mind at that point. And I'm like, maybe this is my chance to test this, right? So I pull out my phone. I completely forgot to mention the other stories. Very specific songs were playing that lead me and my sister to believe that my grandma was communicating to us through music, right? So the first accident that was happening, the song Helena by My Chemical Romance was playing. It's,
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've heard it.
There's a lyric. There's a lyric in there. There's a set of lyrics that say, "Can you hear me? Are you near me? Can we pretend to leave and then we meet again when both our cars collide?"
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah. That was kind of my reaction to when my sister first made that connection or whatever. But I'll get into it later. I'll get into it at the end of the story. My second accident, the one where my truck was completely totaled, the song "Pulling Teeth" by Green Day was playing. The first set of lyrics in the song "Pulling Teeth" by Green Day is, "I'm all busted up, broken bones and nasty cuts. Accidents will happen, but this time I can't get up."
Hey, but you got up? So there was that.
I did. Yeah. Surprisingly, it's actually a really cheerful song. Like, it's a really upbeat song. And so, see my grandma, and I'm like, this is my chance to test this. I have over 900 songs on that playlist. The chance that it would play very specific songs that pertain to the situation I'm in is not super likely. First song that plays, "Dead on Arrival" by Fall Out Boy. I don't think I need to go into the lyrics. I feel like the title of the song.
It's pretty self-explanatory, yeah.
Yeah. So at that moment, I'm already looking for an excuse to not go on this run. Message received. I'm good. Not going on this run. Text my dad. Hey, go ahead and give it to Frank. You're all good. And I'm like, what else my grandma got to say? I hit skip. The next song that plays is the song called "Burn" by 3 Days Grace, off their first
I fucking
record.
loved 3 Days Grace. Sorry. Go ahead.
I think, okay, this clearly doesn't have anything to do with like what's gonna burn. Like that's just not gonna happen. Like, nothing.
Fucking Frank, bro. All right, continue. Sorry.
That night, play video games, go to sleep, think nothing of it, right? I'm like, cool, I don't gotta work tomorrow, fucking great. Go to sleep, and then I'm woken up by my dad at around 3:40 a.m. He goes, "DB, get up. Frank needs our help." Drag myself out of bed, groggy, tired. He runs back into my room. My back to him. He runs back into my room and says, "Hurry up, DB. Frank's truck caught on fire." The ice cold chill that went down my spine was like nothing I had ever felt before. I was terrified. I was shaking. So what happened with Frank, for some reason, whenever he would brake, it was sparking.
Okay.
And eventually it caught something and the whole tire caught on fire. Frank had to pull over and try to put this fire out. If any DOT officers are watching, we absolutely had a fire extinguisher in there. And this next part is a bit. Frank didn't have a fire extinguisher, so he started throwing dirt and gravel on that thing. It burned up his fucking laptop. It burned up his fucking his whole backpack and stuff. I didn't take burn seriously.
So do you think that your grandma showed up because had you had gone, you could have been in a potentially worse situation where the car caught on fire while you were driving, or like something like that? Because so far from what it sounds like, she pops up like right before something happens, and this time she popped up well before that something happened, but she still did.
I tend to lean that she was protecting me in all three situations.
Fair enough.
I think the first two times it was going to happen regardless, and there wasn't anything she could do except, protect me with, her spirit. Her showing up the third time is her saying, "Just don't go." Yeah, that was the last time I saw my grandma ever in that kind of situation.
And how long ago was that?
4 years ago.
Wow. Do you ever get the sense that even without seeing her, your grandma's around?
So that gets into how I feel about the whole ghost thing. I don't know if I even necessarily believe it. This is one of the points that I'll...
What do you mean, bro? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
This is one of the points that I said I wanted to acknowledge after the story. I don't completely rule them out. I just don't pretend to know what is going on. There's a million and one different factors that could have caused what I saw. Maybe my natural instincts saw that something was wrong was going to happen, and my mind fabricated my grandma in the back seat to comfort me in that moment. The mind does wacky shit like that all the time, but there's entirely a possibility that maybe ghosts do exist, and that was my grandma trying to protect me.
So would you say no then to that question?
I mean, yeah, sometimes I do, but again, that could be just my mind comforting me when I feel like I need it,
Yeah.
And I will say I don't entirely believe in it. However, if I ever see my grandma again, whatever I was about to do, I'm not fucking doing that anymore.
Why would you risk it? Why would
Exactly.
you risk it at that
Exactly. Why risk it? It's like playing with a Ouija board.
Imagine
Like I don't
she
believe in
shows
this shit,
up
but
on
like,
like
why
your
would
fucking
I?
wedding day though, you know? So, like, just don't do it, I guess. I don't know. You guys need to fucking relax, first of all. I could not. Listen, I'm trying to focus here, okay? I'm not turning emote only on because I don't want you guys to feel trapped, okay? Guys, you're funnier than me. Guaranteed, 100%. We already know this. You can't just fucking say shit like this when people are pouring their heart into a spooky story for me, okay? You can't do that. Channel points? Fuck channel points. The fuck do you mean? Yeah, so anyway, my grandma, but no, what the fuck do you mean? Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing well. Everybody give it up for Cathartic Meat in the Discord right now. Sorry, you were asking me a question. I cut you off because talking to stream and people is hard.
Oh, you're good. I wasn't asking a question.
Sick. Awesome. Love that. Well, I have quite. You have a spooky story for us?
Yes, and it happened recently. In the past couple months. It is a real story. I do have a picture as proof.
No
some
shot.
people's
Okay.
Some people's worst nightmare, a home invasion story.
Real fast too. Do you mind if I like ask you any questions or interrupt you or anything like that during? Or
No,
I can
go
just
ahead.
Also be, okay. All right. Cool. All right. Go for it.
So I don't live in like the best area of my town.
Relatable.
And I had family staying over, and they were sleeping in my living room, and they heard my back door open and close.
Okay.
And it was a really stormy, rainy night too, so just to, like up the spookiness factor.
Yeah. Okay.
So we turn on all the lights in the house. We each like grab a knife from the kitchen.
Like a flash of
just...
lightning struck at the same time too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So we kind of just like search every room in the house, find nothing. Kind of just forget about it for a while. After that, a few months later, most I get on the cameras are rabbits and the mailman. It was about 3 a.m. I was dead asleep. I get a call from old roommates who still had access to the cameras. He's like, "Hey, did you know there's a guy on your porch?" What? No, I didn't, so I hung up. I walk downstairs and peek out the window, and there's a dude hunched over my door, jiggling the lock and trying to get in. And I actually do have a picture. This dude is sitting on my porch, begging me to open the door to let him in. I call the cops, they come and collect him. They like talk to him outside my house for like a good hour before they like whisked him away. But he tried my front door, he tried getting in the back, they were both locked, but...
I was expecting like a ghost story, and instead we got real, true, actual horror. That is terrifying. The fact too that like the back door opened and closed, meaning that like at some point in time, probably the same dude went up, noticed that the house was open, and then was like, maybe not tonight, and closed it, is terrifying.
This dude was gonna die on my porch. There's no way I was gonna open the door for him.
Oh my god, yeah. What time was it?
Like 3 a.m. So he got like picked up by the cops around 4 in the morning.
No, sir. No, thank you. Not that ain't.
I've had other like weird encounters around my house, but none as like direct as this guy.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing a story. Is there anything else you would like to add before I let you go for the night?
No, I think that's about it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. It was nice. Okay, okay, bye.
Bye.
I don't ever know how to say goodbye to people. Give it up for Cathartic Meat and Chat. I never know what to say, dude. I never know how to just interact with another human being. How is it that fucking difficult? I don't fucking know. Let's go ahead and get our new friend in here. We got Catloaf. Everybody give it up for Catloaf in chat. Claps for Catloaf. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am good, thank you. So I have 2 short things.
Okay,
Very short.
real quick. Are these true things?
Yes.
And are you okay with me like interrupting or like asking questions?
No, go for it. That's fine.
Sick. Okay,
Oh.
go ahead.
I worked at an amusement park in my teenage years,
Okay.
and I was in the games department. So I was one of those people that like shakes a teddy bear at you, gets you to spend $2. In this amusement park, it was built with like a pioneer village in it because I'm in Utah, and they have like a little tiny
I'm so sorry.
pioneer museum in it. Yeah, no, I'm sorry too.
It's okay. I forgive you.
So, okay, thank you. No, there's a little pioneer village in it with like a little like museum, and there's like a arms museum in it. When you work at the amusement park on your off days, when you're 16 years old, they give you a free pass, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna hang out there, right? Friends told me about, like, there's one area of the park that's haunted, so I went with my boyfriend to try out what they told me to do. In this arms museum, this gun museum section of it.
Oh, okay. Arms as in weapons?
Like old weapons, not like serious war stuff, like cowboy pistols. And
I was mostly just thinking arms as in like your limb. So I was like, what the fuck is an arm museum? But no, that makes way more sense.
I was told by a friend that there's a section in here, there's like a beam you can knock on, and it will knock back. Like, no specific pattern, like it's like a wood beam. Nothing above it. It's literally just a beam in the middle of the room. Of course, I went to try it. I was there with a boyfriend at the time, and I knock on it like 3 times, and sure as shit, it knocks back. And to this day, I don't know how it did that.
So you just knock on it?
Yeah, you knock on it, and it knocks back, and that's
it's a solid beam?
Yeah, just a piece of wood.
So it's
literally
not like
just
hollow.
a support beam. No. I only did it the one time. I was scared shitless. I didn't want to do that shit again. We left.
Fair.
We noped the fuck out of there.
All right, so that was the first story. That's
Yeah.
I can't even. Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck to say. That's just some scary shit. Don't do it again.
Yeah,
I don't know.
creepy. The other one, I worked in a hotel, and one of the responsibilities when you're front desk, you have to check each room. Make sure that housekeeping did everything, do a quick little inspection, all that. And there's one room in the upstairs, like a faraway wing of the hotel, where like it just had this heavy energy in it. Just you go in there and just immediately you're feeling like life sucks. I'm having a bad day. I want to go home. I'm
Dementors,
over
bro.
it.
Hate them. Sorry.
Right. My first few weeks on the job, I ask another, more tenured person. I say, "Is this place haunted?" Of course you're gonna ask. And she says, "Well, yeah, there is one. There's a couple here that we get some complaints about." She told me about the room that I went in. She said that there was one night, like, they had that room beneath it rented out. It's happened a few times. They have the room beneath it rented out.
Right.
And they'll call up to the front desk and say, "Hey, our neighbors above us are stomping around a whole lot. Can you tell them to shut up?" And there's nobody in there.
I hate that shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
We had a traveling medium stay at the hotel. Now, I think these guys, honestly, I think they're kind of fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
if anything,
I feel like it's probably hit or miss and mostly miss.
He got a room that was in the same wing as that creepy room, but it was like on the other side of the hall.
Okay.
So morning rolls around the next day, and we're checking people out, and he was still staying another day, and he comes to talk to us, and he's like, "Hey, do you get any complaints about my room or my area?" And we're like, "What kind?" And he's like, just creepiness. Is it haunted?" Like, he literally, like, specifically
He's like,
asked.
I can feel it.
Yeah. He said that it's like the spirit of a woman who's not angry. She's just working some shit out. Like, she's not pissed off at you. She's just dealing with some shit.
Oh, she's going through it, man. That
She's going
sucks.
through it. So I asked him, I'm like, "Hey, what should I do when I go in there?" And he said, "Just, say hello, introduce yourself, say you're going to be in and out of there, and that's it."
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your stories. Did you have anything else before I let you go?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good night. Bye.
Here, you too. Bye. I did it! I did it! I said goodbye well! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm learning! Yay! Claps and chat for Catlope, everybody.